Thank you. So first, I wanted to thank Dr. Aronson, Dr. Mythen, Desiree, yourself, and just everybody else with EBPOM for all that you do to help educate, inform, and really just make patients do better, either through your own deeds or through educating us. And we're all very thankful for that. And thank you. I'm humbled, frankly, to be here today and participate. My journey began, I did my training in anesthesiology at a big box university in New Haven. Came out, went into a standard MBA program, got an MBA in finance, and started a medical company that provides anesthesiology services throughout the United States, generally working with distressed anesthesia departments that were having issues. About 7 years ago, I listened to a talk by Rick Dutton about this amazing thing called PSH. And I just felt like this was really a calling, not just for me on a personal level, but to some extent for clinicians who are anesthesiologists that believe they could and should do more. Thanks to EBPOM, SPACI, and PSH, for the last 7 years, I've been immersed and I've done everything I can learn. And in fact, inspired by Monty, is I enrolled in the UCL program, which due to COVID, it's been hard to get a rhythm, but I'm very grateful for being in that program and consider myself immersed in sort of what we're all here to talk about. We have about 1,000 clinicians in 16 states, and that's sort of the tale of the tape.
Wonderful, thank you. And I know that the UCL program, everything being a bit more challenging during COVID, but the kind of the chat groups on that program, which I've been involved with in different ways along the route, are really fascinating in terms of the different experiences that people have and the changes that they're being instrumental in at their individual institutions. So,
indeed.
I'm not trying to plug UCL. I don't work at UCL, but I think it's a very good program. So the thread I think that runs through this session, be it about PSH or patient safety, is about change, and I think that you have a few thoughts about that, Mark. And in particular, so I know when we talked earlier on, you mentioned the different lens of anesthesia and a perioperative clinician. How do you mean by that?
Well, first of all, I think it's very much like a relay race. And I think if you take a look, what perioperative clinicians will do is they will pick up that patient on around the time of diagnosis. They will manage them appropriately and reasonably using risk stratification and optimization and prehabilitation, hand them off assuredly to the anesthesia team. And then when that's over, they pick them up through recovery and then post-acute discharge as well, trying to think about longitudinal outcomes that serve as bellwethers for how we could improve patient outcomes. And, things, when do patients really recover from surgery? And, that inflection point where they kind of return to their baseline incidence of morbidities, that could be a little while after they go home. So that calling about returning to activities of daily living and so forth is a good point, but it can even be beyond. So whereas a highly functioning anesthesia department could bring to bear a lot of the best practices of ERAS, that's an important, critical part of the puzzle, but it's certainly not the whole puzzle. And I think that handoff back both to and from anesthesia, as well as the job anesthesia do, are all critical.
So I think what I want the discussion to focus on in the time we have left, and sadly we're starting to run out,